So part 2 of this is to talk about colors. So as I was cutting fabric, I realized I accidentally cut the same color as my leaves. So I thought I would use that lighter color to fill in the gaps. This could actually cause some issues, but as you can see, I've already used it up here, and it really hasn't taken away from the center point. And then I have, for my finale, I have more dark green. And I may go back in and get some more of this medium value, or I guess it's a semi-medium value to help fill in. But for right now, I'm working on my lights. So let's just take one piece. Getting into these tight spaces isn't that complicated. You want to find that spot that's kind of butting up to it. And I'm going to pull my fabric through, like that. Okay? Now I am aware of the fact that this is my edge, and even though I see my edge, I'm also aware that there's the column that it's in. This is actually the column right next to it. This is where I want to go. And it will become natural. If I can pull my loop up that easily, that means that I'm not fighting my fabric. So, and remember, I'm demonstrating, and so that's making it, I have to work sideways here. So the only reason I fought that one is I did split my monk's cloth. Now, the reason we choose monk's cloth is because of its versatility at the shop. Not everybody wants to use linen, and sometimes people are going to make pillows. They're going to do something that's for the kids, and the monk's cloth is a cotton fabric, so that makes it an easier care. So I'm just going to go in, and I'm poking down through, and there you go. So I leave myself a little bit of a loop. I'm going to come up. And I always leave my ends. I could trim it down, but what's the point right now? It's better to do it all at once, or at least do it in cross sections. So to build that loop, I already showed you in the first video how to hook. So this is just a follow-up. If I want to peel this off, because you have your spiky things, let's move this out of the way. There are a couple ways you can approach trimming. Okay, so I'm going to try and get it as far away from the camera so that it doesn't get so washed out blurry. I like to hold my fabric this way. I'm not trimming down in. I'm still going to stay on top. And I'm using a bent tip scissor. See that? So I'm going to go ahead and just trim. And these may have dulled a little bit because I've been using them a lot. But I try to stay as parallel so I know where my endpoints are here. I'm just going to do it flat. Now you may have some that are feisty, but when you do that, they tend to blend in. If you start to dig down into it, unless if it's a really fuzzy or frayed fabric, what you're going to do is you're going to create holes, and then you're going to have to go back and repair those holes. So basically, just want to do that. I'm going to come across. And you can go back and finesse, but this is not a moment to be super type A. This is a moment to be type B, where you know that you can futz and fret over it later. But if you want to kind of get an idea of how it's going to look pre-pressing, sorry, I've got horrible light in here, before it gets pressed, then you can see, there it goes. It's a lot smoother now. It kind of makes you feel better too when you do that. So anyways, that's how I do my cutting, and that's a little bit of how I do my filling in. Now, with this bit right here, I can still fit a 6 cut, so I'm going to go back in and I'll fill that in with a 6 cut. But don't be afraid to create those spaces. Don't be afraid to explore different lines. And the Sharpie disappears. The only place you might even see the Sharpie, now you don't even see the Sharpie on this side. So see, you have no idea that I used a Sharpie, do you? I went back and had fun. But looking at the back side, you can see that you can create that movement. It takes a little patience, but if you are willing to just try, it creates texture that you can't normally get just by having a dyed fiber or fabric. And that's why I'm always loving every fabric that I have, because you just don't know what outcome you're going to get on my distant clouds and stuff. So I hope that helps.